I thank the gentleman for yielding. As the gentleman pointed out, the morale is low for approximately 315 million people who call America home. Low because they see a dysfunctional board of directors of their country. Low because they are anguished about the inability to come to grips with reality. I want to tell my friend, Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the Rules Committee, we said yes. You sent us a bill to the United States Senate, which we control, and you said, let us open government. And we will open it on the condition that we cap spending at $986 billion. Now, you also put another piece on that bill which said we ought to defund Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, as we call it. I venture to say that close to 90, maybe even 100% on your side of the aisle, Mr. Chairman, I say to him, Mr. Speaker, didn't think that was going to happen. They sent it because they feel strongly, Mr. Speaker, about that. I understand that. I have strong feelings myself. Now, the gentleman from my colleague from Maryland, I hope is going to use the analogy about vetoing the debt limit, because it's a good one. But I will tell my friend, the Senate said yes, and sent it back here. We could open government this evening if only you would accept what you suggested. If only you would say, yes, you agreed with our number. There was no negotiation. There was no compromise on our side. There was a saying to you, we want to keep government open, so yes. Our Republican colleagues in the House of Representatives, the Senate said, Mr. Speaker, we will take your number. America needs to know that we have said yes to the number that you suggested. I don't like your number. I think it's not good for America, Mr. Speaker. I think it's not good for our national security, for our economy, or for the morale of the American people long term. Having said that, I want government open. So we have said yes to your number. We didn't negotiate. We'll say, we'll take what you propose. Mr. Speaker, I hope every American understands that when one side says, we'll take your number, that there ought to be an agreement. Now, I rise in opposition to this bill that's been put on the floor, which is another way to distract from the business at hand, opening up our government. And 8 days from now, our government will be in a position for the first time in history where we won't be able to pay our bills. The wealthiest nation on the face of the earth, the most credit-worthy nation on the face of the earth, will be in a position, not that we don't have the resources, not that we don't have the credit to borrow to make sure that we continue to be able to pay our bills. That won't be the case. It will be the case that we don't have the authority to do so because this Congress has not acted. I tell my friend, Mr. Speaker, who chairs the Rules Committee, and whose father served with such distinction as the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the present head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Additional 30 seconds.
Okay. The gentleman is recognized for an additional 30 seconds.
The present head, Mr. Comey, says that this sequester and budget number will deeply hurt law enforcement in this country. My friend, Mr. Speaker, I talked to my colleagues that let's defeat this bill and let's move to the business that is real, that will make a difference, not make a political point. Let us move to doing the business of America and put the people's government back to work. Not pretend that we're going to do it by some super committee. We tried that. It didn't work very well. I'm sorry about that. I urge them to stay in business and do their job. So I ask my colleagues, defeat this. Move to the business of America. Put the people's government back to work.
This time has
Mr.
expired.
Speaker, I
Gentleman
yield
from
back
Florida
the balance of my
reserves
time.
the balance of his time. Gentleman's time is